Aubameyang. To try and shepherd it out of play, but this is Smith Rowe after good work on the right-hand side. Looks to try and lay it off towards Lacazette. Cleared away by Zuma. Partey. Arsenal with an impressive start here. Awkward from Chalobah. Will spin back towards Rudiger.
Just like to see Smith Rowe just put that cross in from the right-hand side just a little bit earlier. Just looking at the replay there, and I'm 100% convinced that in the Premier League, that's a free kick, because even though he might have took the top of the ball, he's taken Lacazette out with his follow-through. Just earlier, Pepe did brilliantly win the ball back down in our far right-hand corner, and then when it comes to Smith Rowe, he should just be whipping it in nice and quickly across the 6-yard box. When he takes that other touch, it gives the Chelsea defence that extra time to get that sort of yard and a half further back and then face the ball.
Lacazette does well. El Neni for Aubameyang, who's running at the Chelsea back line here.
Good defending from Kurt Zouma. Aubameyang trying to go on the outside, maybe just gives it a little bit more, another yard or two, push it past Kurt Zouma, but it was a long Inspector Gadget leg that came out from Zouma with his left foot, and excellent timing on the sliding tackle.
He improved an awful lot, I thought, last season, Kurt Zouma, for Chelsea. Part of the French European Championship squad, but didn't play. His fans ultimately disappointed. This is Pulisic, who played in the CONCACAF Nations League final, scored the winner against Mexico. Mexico-USA do battle again in the Gold Cup. Pulisic not part of the squad. Squad chosen pretty much solely from Major League Soccer players. Pulisic and European-based players ignored for that one. Scored in the FA Cup final, of course, against Arsenal. Arsenal coming back to win 2-1, courtesy of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's headline-grabbing performance.
Just looking there, Dan, Mikel Arteta likes all of his players to come back behind the ball. There we had Lacazette, was sort of level with the ball. I'd rather that we kept one person up front, because when Callum Chambers is cutting the ball out there, he's got no one to play off. So you're under pressure, aren't you? So I'd rather, whether it was Aubameyang or whether it's Lacazette, initially you want them to close down or track back, but then you say, OK, you've done your job, you stay up front now and you give us something to play off of.
Ziyech to switch for Pulisic. Tierney tight to his man. Loftus-Cheek. Zouma for Pulisic. Havertz also involved. Not seen too much of him in the opening dozen minutes or so. And this is Aubameyang, who's looked very lively. Tierney.
Just looking at Chelsea when they're out of position, they basically go into a flat back five. Obviously with Chambers pushing on this side.
Kovacic has been shoved to the ground. Andre Marina thinks about it and then gives Chelsea a free kick.
It's good to see Pepe tracking back, trying to nick the ball. That's what we need to see more of next season. He improved dramatically the last sort of 2.5, 3 months of the season with his end product. His willingness to get himself on the ball, his goal scoring and his finishing improved. So hopefully that trajectory can continue this season meetings. So.
In his last 11 competitively, Nicola Pepe. Chalobah back for Mendy.
We know we're back. We know we're back when the fans are singing "Stand Up" if you that mob up the road. So that sort of warms the cockles of my heart. We know we're back, real football.
Next weekend, final game of the Mine series, the North London derby. Chelsea and Spurs face off in midweek.
You didn't say friendly there, did you?
That's what it's listed as.
That's one thing that you'd never find in the vocabulary of an Arsenal fan or Tottenham fan. Doesn't matter if it's under 10s, 11s, 12s, youth team, reserves. There is not that word does not go along with Spurs. No way.
It'll be quite a spectacle next weekend, that's for certain. No love lost between Chelsea and Arsenal over the years as well. Blues, of course, have got the better of Arsenal in terms of league position more recently, more often than not, and of course finished fourth last campaign, but rubber stamped their Champions League credentials by lifting the trophy, beating Manchester City in the final. That was after being beaten in the FA Cup final by Leicester. Actually lost 3 of the last 5 games and were in danger of not finishing in the top 4, but no matter, given that Champions League success in spectacular fashion. Kai Havertz with the goal. This is Ziyech. Didn't start the final. Loftus-Cheek, of course, was on loan. Zuma to try and thread it forward to the hero of that success over Pep Guardiola's side. Loftus-Cheek once again. Werner for Havertz. Pulisic calling for it. Werner wants it as well. They're backing away at the moment. It slipped through towards Pulisic, and El Neni slides in. Not quite sure what part of the anatomy it was that got the block in. The flag was up anyway.
Yeah, we just retreated a little bit too quickly on Chelsea's right-hand side. Just good link-up play with Havertz. Pulisic just getting himself inside Chiarentini, but El Neni did really well. If you're the holding midfield player, you've got to make sure that you fill in spaces. See there, Pulisic just going a little bit too early. But I don't want us backing off. I want us actually engaging the ball, because you put yourself under more pressure when you let the opposition get themselves into your 18-yard box.
El Neni for holding. Smith Rowe. Signed a new contract to fend off the interests of Aston Villa, of course, recently, and now donning the number 10 jersey. Here's Hudson-Odoi. Thomas Tuchel looking on. Terrific job that he did stepping in after Frank Lampard.
He's an elite
manager. Hôm nay thì thôi cũng
Frank Lampard's
reins and doing remarkably well. Difficult to top a Champions League success, but he will be trying. Ziyech caught by Holding.
Yeah, just a little bit late there from Holding on Ziyech. And you mentioned Thomas Tuchel stamping his authority. Hudson-Odoi was just on the ball a second earlier. He was the victim of that early doors, when he in Tuchel's reign down at Southampton, where he didn't track back and he actually gave him the hook and went, if you ain't going to work for the team, sunshine, you can come and sit next to me. He got Alonso, players like Alonso, been ostracised by Frank Lampard, back into the fold and said, you're all starting with a clean slate. And it just shows you that Thomas Tuchel is a step up from Frank Lampard. He's an elite manager. Frank Lampard was learning his trade, and it was the same group of players, and Tuchel got a better tune out of them tactically and with the ball.
It was interesting that he immediately brought back a number of experienced players. Mason Mount didn't start the first game, but I think he quickly realised what a talent the England international is. No Mount in the squad for this particular fixture. Reece James, Ben Chilwell, all part of European Championship England runners-up squad, of course. They are not introduced in this particular fixture. Loftus-Cheek showing good power and pace and poise, but then stopped by Chambers, who has got space to work with himself. Pepe urged on by the Emirates faithful here. Still Nicola Pepe tries to slide it back towards Chambers.
That's where with Nicolas Pepe, he's 1v1 with the centre-half out in the wide areas with Rudiger.
This is Werner, and Havertz is calling for it, and Arsenal need to get players back in defensive positions. Pablo Mari gets his body in the way. Havertz is still free. Werner still has it. Loftus-Cheek calling for it. Pulisic is making progress. Here is the American. It's a cut back in, Partey away, El Neni to cushion and to volley forwards, and Lacazette is onside, but Mendy is yards outside of his penalty area. That's good sweeping from the keeper.
Yeah, it was unlucky from El Neni. Just needs to get a little bit more angle on it, and rather than pick out Lacazette, just maybe hit it towards the touchline, you said there, because Mendy was only sweep the keeper role. If it just goes a little bit more diagonal, then Lacazette's in.
Just a little too straight, as you say. If it curves over towards the touchline on the left-hand side, Mendy may be caught in two minds, may be caught in no man's land.
Just talking about Pepe earlier, when said Rudiger was out in this wide right position. That's where Pepe should be going. First thoughts outside of him, taking 1v1, because if you're cutting inside, it makes it easier for Rudiger. So you've got to have a game awareness where you think, right, centre-halves don't want to be out here. They don't want to be like where there's loads of space.
Kovacic. Loftus-Cheek. You've seen plenty of the ball in this first half. Pulisic for Havertz. Loftus-Cheek again. Pulisic two to try and beat. Can't beat either. Aubameyang in the way. Chelsea throw.
There again, we've got all 10 outfield players behind the ball. I'd just like to see Lacazette, obviously now engaging the ball. I'd just like to see Lacazette, where he's drifting to now, just stay and come up and engage Chalobah. So if we win it, we need somebody to play off of.
Werner. Ziyech was in space again. No, Tierney will make it his, however.
There's good closing down by Kovacic initially. Just toe poking away from Nicolas Pepe. And to be fair, it's good defending by Rob Holding.
Partey to turn. Pablo Mari and Mohamed El Neni.
Yeah, just looking at, see, our formation with the 4-2-3-1, but when we're in possession, El Neni's dropping in between the two centre-halves. That allows Partey to be just a little bit in advance of him, because Partey's passing range has been excellent. We've done a few pre-season games, Dan, haven't we? And he was excellent against Rangers in the 2-2 draw. Came on in the second half against Watford, which we did the training game from London Coney. Was very, very good. Ended up dominating the game.
Aubameyang for Tierney. Too much pace on the pass. No, Tierney will make it his. However, the flag is up.
Tierney shouldn't be caught offside when you're the widest man looking across the line. Maybe a bit of pre-season rustiness, but just went half a yard too early. Good decision from the linesman down below us here, and it's helped by obviously the lines that go across the pitch.
And at the European Championship for Scotland, of course, Kieran Tierney had an injury-interrupted campaign. Still managed to start 26 games in the Premier League last term, did the Scot, and one of English top flight's best left-backs, left wing-back. He's equally adept, and he can play left side of a back three as well.
He come back early from his holidays as well, didn't he? Come back a week early. I think that's the modern-day football. I couldn't see that happen in the mid-80s.